I think humans have an innate drive to work and to be productive to get things done. And I'm not saying that's our default mode 24/7 all the time, but I think our mood varies very greatly depending on if we've done any work for the day. For example, myself, a lot of the time on the weekends when I'm resting, for example, or I don't really have a whole lot of stuff to do during the day, some days on the weekend I might not have anything to do at all. I find more often on the weekend are the days where I would have the occasional bad day where I'm feeling off, for whatever reason. I can't really put a finger on it. I'm sure you've had those days too. But during the week when I'm at my job and I'm working, I will almost never have a bad day when during the weekdays when I'm at work. And even if the day at work isn't the best, I will still always look back on it and say, hey, at least I went to work today. At least I got some stuff done. I was productive. Even if something was off, I wasn't agreeing with a coworker or whatever, or things weren't working in my task, I got frustrated, stuff like that. I still don't feel as bad on those days compared to when I'm on the weekend and I don't have anything to do. It's kind of hard to explain, but I hope you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. I think when we aren't using our minds, we aren't using our bodies, and I guess you could say this is rest, time when we're resting on the weekend. And I want to quickly clarify, I'm not saying that rest is bad, I'm a big advocate for that. But I think when you're spending your entire days on the weekend resting, at least in my opinion, those are kind of counterproductive. I'll end up feeling bad if I don't get anything done the whole day. And this is kind of what I want to tie into for this video, and that's just I encourage you to do one hard thing every day. Doesn't matter what it is, something that is hard for you, a challenge for you. For some people, this could be as simple as you going to the gym every single day. It really doesn't matter what it is, but I think it's very important for us that we have something to look back on at the end of the day where we could say, hey, I did that, I accomplished this, or I worked a little bit on that. And that brings, I can't, it's very, very important to your mindset, because at least for me, a lot of the time when I feel bad is just because I look back on my day, or I'm thinking in the middle of the day, wow, I haven't done anything today. What am I doing? Am I wasting my time? And the earlier in the day you get something done, the better, because if you do something right when you wake up and work on something difficult for a few hours, work on a project for a few hours, you clean up your house, if you bake a cake or something like that, it really doesn't matter what it is, but if you can get something out of the way, especially early on, the whole rest of the day, no matter what happens, at least you can look back on that one thing you did, and you have some sense of accomplishment. And I don't know what it is, that the way that humans are wired, but I feel like that has a great impact on our mood for the day, how we're feeling, because humans are made to work. That's what our ancestors did. They were out working all day, and of course they had leisure time, they had time to rest. And I think that's very important that we do too. I'm not saying to work all day every day, because that is a recipe to be very miserable, I believe. But spending at least a little chunk of your day, it doesn't matter what it is, it's as long as it's something that is important to you, that will make you feel like you had a successful day, will be a huge boost to your mood. And I can't overstate this enough, because I think if you can make this a habit, especially on the weekends are a big one, and that's why I made this video, because this past weekend I didn't record my videos. I'm actually recording this on a weekday, and I usually will make my videos on Saturday or Sunday, but this weekend I just wasn't feeling it at all, and I didn't make them. I had a lot of leisure time, and I ended up feeling, a bit off, kind of bad at some parts of the weekend. It was a long weekend and I had that extra day to kind of just relax, and I noticed that by the end of Monday I wasn't feeling too well, and I attribute a lot of that to because usually the hard task for me is to make the videos, because it still doesn't come very natural to me yet. I still get a little bit anxious of making them, but what that feeling I get after I've recorded the 2 videos and scheduled them to be uploaded, I get a huge weight off my shoulders. I feel really proud about myself because it's something that's hard for me, and I want you to take that key point from this video. What is that hard thing for you, and how can you do that on any given day? In this case, I'm talking a lot about the weekends because that's when most people have their rest time, their time to relax and recharge for the week ahead. But in my case, I just wanted to record this because a lot of the time I feel worse if I have too much time to rest and relax. And for me, there's a really key balance where it's not so much the ratio of the day between work and rest, but it's if I've done a task at all or a couple tasks at all. The bad days I have are when I have done no big tasks. I don't really count stuff like, laundry and like cooking meals and stuff like that to be a big task for me, but the big one is recording a video, exercising, stuff like that. Those are the big ones for me, and if I can do those, even if I have that rest and downtime, I can always look back and say, hey, I did those hard things. I did those difficult things that challenge me and make me better. And those are the things that lift my mood on those days where you don't necessarily have to do anything at all. And that's why, in my example, on the weekdays, I feel really productive when I'm at work. I really love what I do, and that brings me that sense of accomplishment because I'm getting better at the craft I do, and I feel productive and glad to make what I make at work. And on the weekend, I don't necessarily have that. I have me time, but sometimes I don't always allocate my time in the best ways, and I'll do too much resting and not enough tasks that challenge me and push me forward. And I don't want you to feel bad about yourself if you do have some periods of your life where you do have more rest, more relaxation, recharge time than you do the super productive, moving yourself forward, because nobody's perfect. And as much as people say that they're always 24/7 on it, they're always grinding, all that BS, but it's just not the case. Everybody will have those down periods, no matter how long or short they are. But I just wanted to bring that up for you guys in this video, and hopefully you can get something out of it. So it doesn't matter what it is you do, pick something that's hard and challenges you, pushes you forward. And I don't care how short or long it takes during the day, you gotta find something that works for you. But when you get it done, you're gonna feel so good about yourself, and it's almost like it's impossible to have a bad day when you've gotten some work done in whatever case it may be. So yeah, hope you guys found that useful, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.